Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday's virtual watercolors. I should really call it international watercolors now because we've got representatives from the Benelux. Yeah, we just need Luxembourg. Anybody know anyone in Luxembourg? Ready to start. Now, what you're doing is the wash. You would never start drawing all the dark bits. You could do it, but then if you did all the dark bits first and then you put your wash behind, it will start to smear. Maybe you want smear, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the technique you're looking for. There's no right or wrong. I'm just showing the classic route where most watercolorists will choose to paint. I'm going to start with that. See that bit there? Nice and yellow. It's in there. I'm going to build that. I'm even going to put in just a little bit of orange just to get it. There we go. I'm going to put some of that down here as well. Actually, I need to come up a little bit. I started too low down. So naughty. A bit more orange. Wow. Comes down into there. There's also a little bit here. Get some of that pink in there. So pink here. Pink around there as well. Pink there. Yeah. Orange there. I mean, a lot of this colour you will see later, and a lot of it you sort of won't. Doesn't matter. It's just you're just creating a canvas. To be honest, that's all it is. Going to get a dry brush, just lift out a little bit here and there. You can see some of the colours. Blue, blue. That will dry a lot lighter. Bit of Turner here, I think, don't you think? Bit of Turner. I'm loving, sometimes when you get blends going in, look at what's happening over here. I don't know whether you can, sorry, the light is dreadful here, but some nice sort of things, nice things going on. It's just getting enough pigment, you know, lovely little bits of color going on. And the big question is, how do I treat that? Well, in the remaining 17 minutes, I'll sort of try and do as much as I can. I'm going to start getting this tree going because I think that's quite important. And then I'm working backwards with some of this foliage. There's some trees in the background there. So I need to sort of get a handle of how this is going to work. I'm going to try something with a bit more of a point. I'm going to my Kolinsky sable. I haven't used the old Kolinsky for a while here. And I want to, because there's a bit of detail and stuff I want to do. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be worrying about detail. Maybe I should be loose as some of your work was. Right, I'm going to get some nice bit of earthy sepia. If you want a dark brown, always go for sepia. I think it's the best one. I'm gonna hit a little bit of just to cut it with a tiny little bit of French ultramarine. So, you know, never use black. Don't use black. You know, you got black here more or less. Try with black, you don't get any temperatures. You know, it's just black like space, a black void. Yeah. I'm just going to get a little bit of French. This is why don't do your stuff all brown. Otherwise, you just end up with brown. You want some cool blue. Can you just drop it in while it's still wet? Just dropping it in. While I'm here, I'm gonna start moving more towards the blue and take a bit of that brown, move that in with the blue. Something a bit dark here. Just getting some reflection from that. Yeah, isn't it lovely? Because if you do your first wash and then you've got nice, strong, I've almost jumped from very pale wash, full of life and color, and I've gone to the dark accents almost too fast, but I don't mind it. And you can sometimes do that. Go to the dark accents. I'm sort of just concentrating around this area here. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of doing. Green. Too light. Still where you touch it, it'll bleed a bit. Sometimes you have to just keep away. Leave some burnt sienna. Some burnt, there's some sort of burnt going on. Melt some of that. Right, okay. It's going to get a little bit lighter. A bit too light. Going to come in there with rigger work and all sorts of things in a moment. Again, the idea is trying to retain a lot of light, you know, retain light wherever you can. Let the original wash that you did sort of show through. Don't block it all in, because then it's all gone then, isn't it? That isn't going to work. I'm saving these long branches coming out until I've sort of tried to work out a bit of what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm looking for the bits that I think are interesting. Certainly this tree coming up and its reflection. This tree going up and its reflection to me was really important. And I've almost got this bank done now. A bit of run going on and stuff. Don't worry, I can come back to that later. It's not a problem. And I can even strengthen up some of these trees a bit later. Just be patient. Just get a basic outline. I could have actually painted those a little bit lighter maybe and then gone back later with, but it's nice having like that glaze there is really quite nice. There's a little sort of thing here there with a few bit. I sort of quite, I don't know why, I sort of quite like that. I don't know what it is. It's got shadow of it underneath. And then you got all these little bits coming off it. It's got all these sort of and then below you've got some quite dark. I'm trying to capture the dark while it's there, while I still sort of remember it. It's got a little bit too dark there. Yeah. 3 minutes left. I'm not going to be able to finish this, but it gives you an idea of sort of where I'm going. Yeah. It shows you the importance of that first wash. I mean, it looked like rubbish when I did it, but it's sort of, it's not the most, it is so important to the painting. All these hard bits, I'll only do those once. And I've tried to add some wet in wet to give it texture. I don't want a big flat dark bit. I don't know whether you can see it. It probably, it's hard to show you the colours in there. And again, just by a little bit of sort of negative feathering, if you like, just a little bit of, you know, paying homage to the original colour, not blocking it all out, but actually getting glazes like that really quite light. One thing I just to a couple of the new people here, it's really quite important. It's really quite important. I talk about a number one, you know, value. What a value is, just, you all know this after you went. I'm just going to do this again. It's quite important. The value between the strength of pigment and water. So water is 0 and pigment is 10. 100% pigment is 10. So when you lay neat out of the tin, if I put indigo down, boof, is 10. When I get loads of water and just put a little tiny bit of indigo in, it's 1. And the values are all between 1 and 10 in every color. I've only used indigo and raw sienna as an example, but I could have put any colors here. And this is quite important. I know I bang on about it. I know a lot of you already, I've told you many times now, but there's nothing wrong with me telling you yet again. So therefore, when I'm painting things like this, it's about a number 2. It's a 2, a 2, maybe a 3, 2, a 2, a 1. Here, an 8, a 9, an 8, a 9. If you get used to knowing, then that's good. You know, it helps me when I'm talking to you about, you know, using certain colors. Then the other thing, we're just about finished now, but I'm going to have to find a way of bringing, and I don't want to block too much because I've got some lovely little colors like going on here that I don't want to cover with all that, but I'm going to have to find a way of doing it. I'll just carry on for 1 minute and then I'll stop. I just want to. And again, you can see, you can have a lot of fun here, really, couldn't you? You can. Unfortunately, I can't go across with this because it's still wet there. But I think we're about done. I'm going to step away from this particular vehicle.